My name's Robina Sutch. I've been working as a program director recently, but I've also been a management consultant and actually an executive coach as well, so cover a lot of aspects. I think it's brilliant. I've worked with Darren of Engaged for quite a while, and I like the fact that we're bringing a number of youngsters together from disparate backgrounds. And the good thing I like about it is neither academic nor on the job. It's combining those two aspects. So the fact that they're going out and doing real jobs with real companies and those companies are committing to them is brilliant. But then bringing them together once a month to meet each other, compare notes and learn about some of the topics is absolutely brilliant. It's a great approach. I was asked today to talk about my career, which I didn't know how interesting that would be to people, but actually it turned out to be fascinating to quite a few people in the room. So what I went through was kind of where I started, how I've worked through project managers, and how I've ended up in being a program director. And what I tried to focus on was decisions I made in my career at various points in the way. So all of us have a kind of route that we need to go on, and there's a fork in the road. Do you go right or do you go left? And that's what I was trying to outline to the guys was my way is not necessarily the right way, but if you do get an opportunity provided to you, to grab the opportunity with both hands. And that's what the message that I was trying to get across. And within the talk, I also outlined sort of a number of examples of projects that I'd worked on, projects and programs, some of the challenges I'd come up against, and some of the recommendations that I'd make as well. I love the location of the event. I'm a sailor by nature, and here we are on a boat on the Thames. So apart from the slight rocking of the floor, it was a great place to give a talk. The apprentices, varying degrees of interest, but overall, lots and lots of questions. Obviously interested in the approach that I've taken, obviously want to learn from that. We had a kind of a lull halfway through where I got them all to stand up and turn around, just because, when you're being talked at for or conversed with for sort of an hour or so, everyone's sort of attention lapsed a little bit, but they all got up and they sort of got involved and asked some good questions, and hopefully I'm going to catch up with them in lunch later on, but it'll be really, really useful. Well, one of the things that's made my career and my organisation successful has been fundamentally understanding the vision, the goal, the objective. What are you aiming for? And that was one of the key messages I wanted to get across to these guys. And that, I think, applies not only to the project management environment, your career, fundamentally your life as well. If you don't know where you're going in life or in a project, how are you going to know when you got there? So I'm not saying have a detailed plan day by day, but at least have a rough idea. So one of the key messages for me was about the vision. Another key learning was for me that project management is a profession. You don't necessarily have to be a detailed and knowledgeable engineer if you're project managing an engineering project. You need to know enough to be able to challenge the people who are working on the project, and obviously not have the wool pulled over your eyes, but you don't necessarily need to be an expert engineer. And I think that's something that the industry as a whole and the project management profession as a whole sometimes doesn't recognise, and that's what I wanted to get across to these guys. And then finally, my final message, because I do everything in threes, my final message was that project management is about relationships. So just because you've gone on a project management methodology course doesn't mean it makes you a good project manager. You need that as a foundation, we all do. You need to do things in a standard approach. You need to have had some experience, but also you need to build up relationships. If the stakeholders, the people that are working with you either on the team or being impacted by your project, haven't built up a relationship with you, that project will not be a success. So those were the three messages that I shared with them.